So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. So, over the weekend, I was lucky enough to get my hands on a multiplayer beta test for Undisputed. If you don't know what Undisputed is, it is currently a realistic boxing game in development by Steel City Interactive, who are dedicated to making the best boxing game possible. And they took some big steps over the weekend with this multiplayer beta test. So in this video, I'm just going to give you a quick little synopsis on how I felt about a game, what I liked, what I didn't like, and just overall give y'all some and even show y'all some gameplay footage as well. But overall, just give y'all my thoughts on how I felt about the game and what they can improve on. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today, doing something a little different. I don't really do like reviews or give my thoughts on things like this, but I usually don't get invited to things like this. So over the weekend, I got invited to the Undisputed multiplayer beta test. Yes, the highly anticipated boxing game made by Steel City Interactive. I'd like to give a big shout out to them for giving me this opportunity to play the game. Quick little disclaimer, I did have 2 videos ready for this, but one got corrupted, so scrap that idea. So I will be showing you my first hour or my first fight going into this multiplayer beta test. Keep in mind I only had 2 hours to play with this, and the matchmaking wasn't as good as I thought, so keep that in mind. But let's get straight into it. As you can see, I'm loading up into the game right now, and the first thing that really popped out to me was the graphics. The graphics look incredible. You can see the player models. You can see Ebony Bridges right there. She looks true to life. And as you can see, just look at the graphics. They look good. They look crisp, clean. The player models look really good. The way the lighting reflects off the player models is cool. I see Kenny Bayless back there, even though he wasn't present during the actual fight. That still is a very good render of him. Overall, Arturo Gatti looks like himself. Mickey Ward looks like himself. The gloves and the shorts look nice. I would have liked to see some different variations of the shoes, and they're just not wearing black. But overall, that looked nice as well. The crowd looked nice. The stadium looked really well designed. The ring looked really well designed. It has detail to it. Going from the ropes to the canvas to the turnbuckles, everything looked good about this game. And if you're just watching this video and you're saying, "Oh, it doesn't look that good," this video doesn't really do it justice. Once you get your hands on this game, you're gonna realize the first thing is that this game really does look stellar. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to 1024 Interactive. 1024 is a very good studio. They're well known for their graphics, and I think the most notable project they worked on up until this point was Death Stranding, a game that looked really good, almost photorealistic. That's what I can compare this game to, almost photorealism. Some of the player models, especially from the screenshots that we saw, look better than others. But as in terms of this beta, they looked really good. You can see the abrasions on the fighter's skin. You can see them wince at every punch. You can see the muscles move and twitch as they're throwing punches, and you can just overall get the feel of the graphics, and they look really nice. And the cornermen are animated. You go to the corner, they're talking to you, and they're fully animated, so that's a good thing as well. You can see the judges as well standing up, even though I don't think those are judges. I think that's just the crowd. You can see some of the cameramen in the background. The crowd. Everything about this game looked good. You can see a little bit of pop in here and there, especially in the background with the wooden plank popping up on the door. But overall, the graphics look really good. One thing I would have liked to see was the referee being in the actual fight. Not just rendered in like a cinematic. But I'm pretty sure they'll have that in the actual game, so I'm not critiquing them too much for that. But the graphics overall, they looked really good. Another thing that stands out to me was, as far as gameplay, is how fluid everything feels. Everything feels really fluid. It doesn't feel scripted by any means. Punching was a big concern coming into this, this early access beta. And like I said before, the footage does this game no justice. The footage, sometimes the fighting can look stiff. the punches do really feel fluid. They don't feel, loose or, wibbly. They do feel like they have some type of impact. Now, obviously not the same impact as like a Fight Night champion, but, the punches do have impact. I would argue that they're more realistic, and, because since everything was mocapped and not everything was, built in with animations, for the first time, the punching really felt good. The footwork, as you can see, is phenomenal. But we knew that by the trailers. The footwork is phenomenal. The way the fighters move around the ring, it feels like they have a little bit of weight to them. As you see, I put that nice little combo on them. This fight really wasn't a boxing match per se, but it was really, this is my first time playing. I was learning the controls, and I really did like the way the punching felt. Now, one thing I will say is that certain punches, especially, and I knew this was going to be a problem going into this multiplayer beta test, some of the punches would look like they didn't connect, but they still do damage. Part of that is because of the targeting system. It hasn't really fully been perfected. Now, keep in mind that this is an early build, so nothing is final, but that was one thing that I did know, like right there, I did notice that. You'll see it multiple times during this footage. It looks like a punch, cleanly missed, and it still registers. So that was one thing I did notice about this game. But other than that, the gameplay felt good. I like how every punch is different. Not every punch is going to the same location. Some punches will land on the arms. Some punches will land on the forehead. Some punches will land on the chest. And some punches will just miss all entirely. And that depends on your footwork, your position, where you are, how you're standing in front of your opponent, where you're punching, where you're punching from, your distance. Even if it doesn't look like this in this footage, your distance, especially in the second match I played, your distance really does determine on where your punches are going and if they're going to land or not. So that's a big thing that I enjoyed. The parrying system, I did use that a little bit. It felt, it's a parrying system. It wasn't too in-depth. I wouldn't say parrying, a feint system. I'm sorry, feint system. I did use it. I didn't use it as much as I should. I didn't really have a tactical fight this first match, but, the feint system felt okay. You could cancel right in the middle of a punch and kind of fake your opponent out, even though I didn't do that in this match. Blocking, I would like to see the blocking more in depth. It kind of just felt like I was holding the trigger. Maybe that's just because I didn't know how to, control the fighters per se, or all the controls yet. But, the fighters, the blocking did feel, kind of automated, if that's the right word. I felt like I didn't really have much control on what punches I was blocking. It felt like a lot of punches were being blocked when you're just holding it and you're not really doing the work to block them yourself. It just felt like, the punches were just being blocked just because you were holding the block button. Maybe that's just me, but I do kind of like it, a little in-depth blocking system. Maybe that was because of a setting I had on, but I didn't really see a setting to change. So blocking is something they need to improve on. Fighters do try to block specific areas of their body and of their head, and when you're just sitting there holding the block button, that's not really as realistic as I would like it. But still, the block system was good enough to where, you could block punches, you can move around a little bit, and you can even see when you're moving around while you're blocking, the fighter kind of move his arms. But I would just like it to be a little bit more in depth. Inside, as far as fighting on the inside, and I did that a lot this match. Inside fighting felt good. Body punches felt good, and body punches do a lot of damage. Like, if you don't invest to the body, that's a good thing about this game. It's going to simulate the sport of boxing. And what do they say in the sport of boxing? When you invest in the body, it will pay off long term. You can really decimate a guy's stamina with body punching, and not spamming, but a selective body punch, and especially a selective counter punch to the body, really does a lot of damage, and it will really help you in the long term. Now, they were 3-minute rounds, but they only felt like 2 minutes. So, it didn't have the same effect as if they were fighting off real time. But I can say for a fact, the more you go to the body, the more and more the opponent's stamina goes down. And you have to be careful to guard your own body, as I get hurt right there because I was being over aggressive. And I'll get to that in 1 minute. You can, lose stamina very quickly by getting hit to the body. and that will make your fight infinitely more difficult because you won't be able to punch as much as you would like to. Your stamina directly affects your health, so that felt good. The inside fighting felt good. The body punching felt good. One thing I will say is the counter punching is very, very crisp. I did like the counter punching as well. It felt like when you avoided a punch, you were able to, time somebody perfectly and get off that perfect counter punch. I didn't particularly care for the flash like that, but I didn't turn it off until later into the demo. So, counter punching felt nice. If they improve the targeting system a little bit more, and improve some of the way the punches look, especially some of the jabs, I will say that some of the jabs, how they look, the punching is good enough. It's good enough. It's not like it's not gonna be Fight Night, and I don't expect it to be Fight Night. The punching is good enough. I just think they need to make a few small tweaks here and there. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this multiplayer beta test. The presentation was nice, even though the commentary was kind of cringy, and I didn't really listen to that much at all. I'm really excited for when this game comes out. The performance was nice, as you can see. Every punch felt crisp. When it landed, it felt like it actually had impact. I know that was a big complaint. In my opinion, it felt like it had impact. Not too many negatives I can take from this other than the fact that matchmaking was kind of porous at best. And, some of the punches didn't look like they landed completely. But not many negatives I can take from this. I thoroughly enjoyed the beta. Hopefully, when you guys get your hands on this game, you'll see what I'm talking about. I feel I already miss it. I already missed this game because right there, that punch didn't necessarily land, it just registered. But back to what I was saying, I definitely missed this game already. We haven't had a boxing game in so long, and this game really is on the right track to being a true sim boxing game. Everybody's still learning, and when early access comes out, I'll be the first one on it. But I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'm gonna let y'all just enjoy, the gameplay footage. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. Enjoy this nice competitive footage. I'm out. Peace. One more thing before I end the video, actually. The sound in this game is nice, except for the commentary. You can hear the fighters breathe out during every punch. The impact of the punches sounds nice. Another thing I'll give them credit for is the specific fighter styles. Mickey Ward is a little bit looser, just a little bit looser than Arturo Gatti. Gatti feels a little bit more upright and stiff and a little bit more heavy. Mickey Ward felt a little bit more loose. Terry Harper was in the game as well. Even though I didn't get to play with those female fighters, their styles was different. So I didn't really get a chance to test different styles like that. I only played with Gatti, and from what I can tell with Gatti, his style was completely different from Mickey Ward's. And that's a big thing in boxing, because styles make fights. You can distinguish a guy by the type of style he fights with. And I just it's just little details like that makes me all giddy inside for this game. Not every fighter is going to be the same. Every fighter is going to have a different style to them. They're going to feel different. Their punches are going to be different. So I'm really excited for this game. Hopefully they can, fix a few issues here and there, kind of with the commentary, some of the pop-in glitches, the targeting system especially, punches landing when they're really not supposed to. And just little issues like that, but they're really on the right path with this game, so hopefully they can just keep it up. But I'm gonna get up out of here for real this time. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.
Can he finish the job? This guy certainly has a huge chin. How are they still standing? They say the fight's the easy part. It's what you did in training. The hook scores. Right hook just missed. That jab scores. So far in this round, the offense has been better than the defense. That left hook missed. Last 10 seconds of the round. Well, that's a round he's not soon going to forget.
Back to the corner, tired, exhausted, trying to figure out what's happening in front of him. The instructions need to be precise. Get it right, boys, get it right.
Here's the bell for round 7. Great combination punching. The winner of this surely will get a world title shot. Misses with the jab. Couldn't get out of the way of that combination. For whom much is given, much is expected. World record purses for both of these fighters. Halfway through the round, and man, these two are going at it.
There's no separating at all. This is ridiculous. These guys are perfectly matched. It's like a match made in heaven. Very close match. It shows the skill, the discipline, the respect both fighters have for each other, because no one dare do anything out of turn.
Block that jab. The winner of this surely will get a world title shot. Right hook misses. We approach the last 10 seconds of the round. This fight is closer than 2 pages in a book, Johnny.
That was super tight. I dread being a judge.
We enter the 8th round. Ooh, look at that left jab. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. Landed a good jab there. Swing and a miss with the jab. Halfway through. And wait a minute. He caught him clean. This guy certainly has a huge chin. I thought we were going to see the finish there. Defense is not an option between these two warriors. Bomb for bomb, shot for shot. It's been all action this round. Good looking jab. Does well to block that left jab. 10 seconds to go. Who's going to get the last shot here in the round?